What should we do now? We know how media would help our youth. We also know how media can harm our youth. Now, the most important thing, what we now need to know, how do we empower youth, especially in rural areas, positively to transform their livelihoods through media? Now, this requires a combination of effort from government, from communities, from educators, and from the youth themselves. Now, what is that this team should do? Meaning, we now need a combined effort. The youth themselves, the educators, the government, communities, and NGOs outside there to come together to now guide our youth. Because many of them are now misusing the media that would help them to change their lives. One, we need to have digital literacy training. I am happy when I shared with that brother who is in the US. Today, this morning, I was sharing with him how to start digital literacy training. Because the fact is, people make a lot of money on YouTube, but our youth don't know. Our youth do comedy, do things, but they are not making money out of YouTube. I personally also make money from YouTube. Can we teach this youth and we say, hey, stop there. Are you aware that you can make dollars when you're in Serere, down there in Pingire, down there in Kagwara? Do you know you can make money in Agwara? You can make dollars that will be sent from US through YouTube because of your work? They don't know. They only watch fake news, they do the other things. So we now need to teach youth how to use media wisely. One of Africa is a platform that is coming. It is an African idea. Someone thought of it and says we can also create a platform like TikTok. TikTok is owned by Americans. YouTube is owned by Americans. We make a lot of money. I personally took time, 2 years, for me to be monetized to start earning money from YouTube. And yet YouTube was making a lot of money from my content, and for me I was not getting money for the whole 2 years. So this guy is saying, no, I am coming with this. He's a filmmaker in America, and he's coming to launch this. I told him, when you come, we need to go down and we train our content creators on how to create good content that can support the youth, how they can advertise their products through that thing. And this can also be done even on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. So that's why we need to have digital literacy training. Then the other one, access to affordable internet and devices, is another problem that is that can affect the youth. But as the team that I've talked about, we now need to see if we start forming groups, maybe down there, the youth groups. Now we all know that if the youth are now driven by internet and digital world, how are we going to have this youth get affordable internet and devices? That is a question we need to have in our mind, because that one will expand rural internet. We need to expand rural internet infrastructure. We need to provide maybe low-cost smartphones. They need to have data for them to access this information. Now, how are we going to do it as NGOs, as government, as the community? Maybe we have groups. Are we able to have a group with smartphones? But even themselves, the youth themselves, there is no village where you can go and you don't get one smartphone. They have it. This one encourages use of platforms like YouTube, TikTok, One of Africa that I've talked about. Then we also support creation of local language content. That is another thing. Many people told me, no, Julius, we love your content so much, But the problem is you always have the content in English. Others say, so in that we need to have the content that will suit our local youth outside there. Maybe those ones who don't understand English, how are we going to have the same content reaching to them? That's why then in Jokea services, I am going to start making videos in two ways. I make the same video in English, I translate the same video in Ateso, such that those ones down there will be able to get it if they don't know English. Then another thing, as Jokea also got to know that there are people that cannot read that cannot watch YouTube because YouTube needs data. But maybe someone can only open a website and can read the article. So at Jokea, we are also going to start having the what? Having the we have launched Jokea Media website where we now have articles running there. So we are going to have those developmental articles that can change the lives of the youth. When the youth reads, he or she can get something from there. Then we also need to support youth entrepreneurship through media. Now this one, train youth to market their products and services. Many of them have these smartphones. They have phones, but they don't know how to market how to market what they have. Someone is having a small farm, maybe he's having his poultry, but he's there. He's doing other things on TikTok. Instead of taking a small video of his poultry and puts on TikTok, advertise these things, and people will come and buy. Because media is power. Any person will be like, no, I need to go and check that boy, and I go and get a chicken from that side. I made a video of someone from Kumi. By then he had around 200 birds. When I made the video, someone from South Sudan got the video, and they were the ones who came for the what? During Christmas. They were the ones who came for the birds. They took all. They even wanted the others. So the market people are saying, we have goods, we have products, but we don't have market. It is just because people are not utilizing the media very well. They are just misusing. We are not using media in a good way. But if we use media to showcase our own, what we have, to showcase our hotels, you will imagine someone is in Soroti here, but doesn't know where Akelo Hotel is. Someone, you get it. Because if now someone from down there watches a video and gets to understand that people from Akelo Hotel can buy cocks, can buy chicken, it will be very easy for that person from Serere, Aguara to come and contact that person, and they have business. So those are the things. Then lastly, I don't know whether this is the last, we need to use media for mentorship and inspiration programs. Connect youth with successful role models and mentors. Members through digital platforms. This is the main idea that made me personally to start Jokea services. I had people, those days people used to say, they talk about people who have made it, the successful people. And in terms of here, we all know that when you become successful, our own people will say you've gone underwater. Why? It is because of the information. That is what they think. But if people who have done it, people who have made, who have succeeded, if they can accept to call the content creators and say, hey, Jokea, come I tell you how I started. Come we talk about my hotel. Come we talk about my farm. We shall advertise the farm, everyone will know there. But the youth, you will change the lives of thousands of the youth. Because they will understand, hey, kumbe, even if I have not reached the senior 2, I can become a billionaire. I can become a millionaire. Now the mindset people have, many youth have, They think the rich are born from rich families. If you're not from maybe a political family, you'll never become rich. But those ones who have understood, they even don't want to join the politics because they know they can make their money that they use themselves, they don't even share. They take to church and share with the other people, not in pressure, not with the pressure. So we need to use this media, the digital media, and both digital and traditional media, the radios and television, to connect youth with successful role models. Let Etop Radio in a week bring role models, bring those people who have made it. They are in Teso here. Give them a program to talk to the youth, to talk. Everyone will understand, and someone will say, no, I think this idea can change. And then lastly, partner with media houses and NGOs. I think we need to partner with media houses. NGOs, you'll find there are NGOs help to train the youth. But when maybe they are training the youth in, let's take for example, in Aguara, they should be able to reach thousands of the youth outside there. Because when we partner with NGOs, NGOs will bring always work with media houses to showcase what they are doing to other youth, to collaborate with radios, TVs, and social media platforms to create youth-focused content. We now need to create youth-focused content. How are we going to change? It must be a plan. How are we going to change the mindset of the youth so that they'll be able to do what we want? It is media to shape them because they are on media every day. Media will support NGO campaigns. We can support the NGO campaigns through use of media to educate, train, and empower the youth. I believe by so doing, we shall be able to transform the livelihood of the youth in the rural setting. And that is what I have to share with us today.
Thank you very much, our speaker. That was a very, very important talk. You have told us how the media can transform the youth and how the youth, the media can also be misused by the youth, and you have given us the way forward of what should be done. Thank you so much. I think let's now go to question and answer. Members, I will beg your indulgence. We started late. Let's push on for a few more minutes as we get some answers to some questions. Let me have Bernard to moderate this session. Bernard, please go ahead.
Thank you, CP, and thank you once again to Julia. I'll make it short. I'm personally interested in what Julius has shared with us because I took the opportunity to watch some of his videos, specifically the one which had apple growing. I don't know if you still have that. I believe it was one of your very first.
Yeah.
And then also, yes, and then also the one acre model you're talking about, because I'm in spaces where 1 acre model is a big deal.
Yeah.
If you could give us highlights on if you have those videos rolling and what more you could top it up to bring as part of the avenues that Rotary can tap into.
Yeah.
That is me first, but the floor is open to everyone else. Please, if you have a question, I am gladly taking note of who is where. Yes, Dorothy? Johanna? Rotarian Dorothy? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Julius, for the presentation. I just kind of wanted to add on some of the areas, your second part of the presentation about the risks and stuff like that you talked about. I just want to talk about definitely as the youth are getting into more using of the internet, of the social media, they need, I guess, to understand about the cyber security so that they are able to protect their computer software and all that stuff. So maybe that could be part of the training, as you mentioned. Definitely, e-marketing is important, but also kind of having to do cybersecurity is also good. And also, I guess it is also important for them to understand and to be aware of cyber attacks. These are malicious actions, and this is so common. I've kind of been listening or reading about it, and mostly in the US, where some youth have even ended up committing suicide because these people, someone can befriend you on the internet, and then somehow maybe they ask them to take some pictures, some photos, and then eventually they will then start using those pictures to manipulate them.
Yeah.
Because when these people want to stop, they think, okay, now I think we're going too far. So these people will then start manipulating them, say, okay, if you stop, I'm going to share these photos. And so many people, the youth have ended up committing suicide because of that. So I think as you do the training, or when you eventually start this training, I think it is important to educate people about those, because obviously, like as you mentioned, sometimes people, because of the situation of looking for money, people will get into doing things, and then later on they find themselves that they are stuck, and they can't get out of it, and that's a big thing. But also, on the other hand as well, my other suggestion is you mentioned about if you're to do the videos or the clips you do, some people are complaining that they can't listen because they are rather in English. So you talked of having to do in both languages, but have you thought about having subtitles? Because sometimes even if it is in English, maybe it can be written, or if it is in Artiso, there can be some wording running along in English. So that kind of reduces you the trouble having to do in the same languages. But also the other thing as well, yes, the internet can be bad, and as you say, or if you are not used well, and also you say that it's mostly about the music which is there, but there is another thing which is coming up, which is not so common yet in Uganda, but if you read about it, it is so common in South Africa now, and that is esports. That is if you look into Africa gaming industry, it is like projected to generate 1 billion in consumable, in the coming year. So